What up, though? And welcome to the Boss Up Ball Out podcast, your home for organic debate about Detroit Lions news and rumors. It's your man, Professor Curt Steele. Well, the wait is over. The Detroit Lions' initial 53-man roster is out for the upcoming season. On today's show, we give our reactions to who made the team and who didn't. We are on our way to 3,000 subscribers and currently sit at 2,975. Shout out to our channel members. It's another way to grow our channel. Let's put them up on the screen. If you don't know, here you go. Of course, we got T-Bone Locks, Sean Bird, Lauren Vander Esch, Brent DeWitt, Miss Mary Smith, Big John Martin, and Kukayam. Man, thank you guys for supporting the channel. If you want to become a channel member, you can check the link in the description of the video or on the homepage of our YouTube channel. Now it's time to bring in my co-host for today's show. First up, it's the hardest working man down there in Jackson, Michigan. He be cooking up something with his new food stand. He be coaching kids in boxing, coaching kids in football, writing rhymes, all this stuff, man. It's the Wolf of Lion who?
Coach Mike Jones hit the flex on him one time. Y'all see that right there. Don't act like you don't see that.
And of course, it is your auntie's favorite Detroit Lions content creator. Y'all see him up there, man. Chocolate Thunder from Yaktown, because you know he don't back down. It's LL Cool Twins. What's going on, my dude?
What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday morning.
If you are new to our channel and you don't know how our show works, we look at Detroit Lions news, headlines, or takes. If we agree, we say they are bossed up with that big blade dance. If we disagree, we say it's balled on, and we share our reasons why we agree or disagree. No hot takes here, baby. Just natural debate about our and true thoughts and opinions about our favorite team, the Detroit Lions. Excuse me there. All right, so yesterday, Lions initial 50-man roster came out. There was some head scratches in that thing, but we're gonna go over it, and then we're gonna get our reactions, man, and see what the kind of the biggest surprises are for us. And then you can put it in the chat during the premiere or comment on the video. What is the biggest surprises for you? But before we get into that, like the video, share the video, and comment on the video. All these things help us get this content out to more Detroit Lions fans just like yourself. Hey, that Ball Up, Boss Out merch shop is now open. Check the link in the description of the video, man. You can look at the ticker at the bottom of the screen to give you all the information about what you need to do to get the 10% off one item. If you choose to buy something in the shop, and core channel members, you get 15% off your total order. But let's get into this roster. All right, fellas. First up, offense, quarterback. Jared Goff, Kyle Allen, two guys. Running backs, same kind of guys we predicted before. Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, Craig Reynolds, Sione Vaki. Even though with a caveat for Sione Vaki, they say he may not be ready for the Green Bay game. We might see him in week 2. Versus the Chicago Bears. And then wide receiver, week 6. It's 6 wide receivers. The only change here from what we predicted is they chose Dominic Lovett over Jackson Meeks.
Whoa.
Yeah, I don't agree with that at all, but it is what it is. So, and I think from what a lot of Lions beat writers are saying is that the Lions, with their draft, if you're a draft pick, you have more of a chance of making a roster than an undrafted guy. So that's just is what it is. All right. Next up on offense, we got tight ends. We got Laporta, Wright, Zilcher. We predicted that. Here's the difference in the offensive tackle room. You got Penei Sewell, Taylor Decker, Giovanni Manuel, and not Dan Skipper, Jamarco Jones.
Yeah.
People have said, some people observing the Lions training camp, some beat writers said that Jamarco Jones played better than Dan Skipper in training camp. But we'll get into that in a minute. But our interior offensive line is what we predicted. Glasgow, Tate Ratliff, Christian Mahogany, Coyote Awasika, and Kingsley Equikon. So That's the offense. So let me put everybody back on the screen. I think that the Lions' offensive skill positions look like what we expected. Meeks over Lovett. I'm not a big fan of that, but that being said, it has to be the biggest surprise. Has to be Jamarco Jones over Dan Skipper. Skip has been the staple in the Lions' offense for the past few seasons. Man, he's played guard. He's played swing tackle. He had a lot of versatility. Man, he even caught a touchdown last year. All right, Coach Jones, I'm coming to you first, man. Why do you think that Jamarco Jones was picked over Dan Skipper?
2 reasons. First, he's a true right tackle. I know Dan Skipper offers position flexibility, but usually when you are playing multiple positions, you're not really that good at one. And he's a true right tackle. So, that's that. And another reason why, that boy Giovanni Manu is ready. He ready. So, yeah, those are my reasons, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right. LL, is there any other surprises for you on the offensive side of the ball?
Yes. Of course, you know, Dan Skipper and everything, but my surprise would be Dominic Lovett making it. I didn't see that happening. I thought for sure Jackson Meeks would have, made the roster over him. I don't really know what separated the two. Maybe, Lovett must have been a monster in practices and not such a monster out on the field. And it was the reverse for Jackson Meeks. But that's one of my, that's probably my biggest shot.
Right. Like I said, for me, that it has to be the Dan Skipper thing, just because of the fact of the versatility. But I get what you're saying, Coach, with sometimes you're a jack of all trades and a master of none, that definitely plays against you in a sport like football, where they want some guys that are, specialized. But I thought his flexibility as far as position wise, it helped Dan Skipper. It helped him make the roster last year, probably the year before that too, because you can slide him in the guard, you can play him at either tackle. But we all know that Dan Skipper is the offensive line Tom Kennedy, because he seems to stick on that Lions practice squad no matter what. So we'll see if he's going to be back in the building. Hold on, let's get it back on the screen. Go ahead.
Also, I think Dan Skipper is a better guard than a tackle. I think when Dan Skipper is covered up by somebody, you know what I'm saying, and that way you don't have to keep a tight end on his side to help block the edge rushers. When he can be sandwiched in between a center and a tackle, he's a good guard. I think he should think about changing his position. He got 2 left legs.
Now the speculation is that a certain coach may try to poach him down to their team. You know what I'm saying, in the NFC North, down there off Lake Michigan. The speculation is that they might be trying to slide Skipper down to Chicago. We'll see if that happens. Yeah, so we'll see.
They might bring him back.
I want
got 3 spots open.
Yeah, we'll get into that a little bit later. We'll talk about that in a minute. But of course, hey man, like the video, share the video, and comment on the video. All you things help us get this content out to more Detroit Lions fans just like yourself. Hey, that Boss Up Ball Out podcast is brought to you by Dubby Energy Drink, packed with brain boosting amino acids and vitamins, no sugar. Important for your man, Curt Steele, who's a type 2 diabetic. It gets you pumped for tackling your daily tasks, man. Check out the link in the description to get yourself some Dubby Energy Drink. Put in the code Boss Up Ball Out Pod for 10% off your order. Power your day with Dubby. All right, now it's time to get on the other side of the ball, man, to talk about that defense. Now, this thing right here was a head scratcher. What? All right. Defensive tackles, you got 6. You got DJ Reader, Talib Williams, Bro Lopez, Pat O'Connor, or Kwame Pat O'Connor, as LL has said it, Makai Wingo, and Chris Smith. Edge, you only got 3. Hutch, Davenport, and AQM. That's a light room, to say the least. All right, let's see who's else is up on defense. Linebackers, we got that right. I don't think anybody could get this wrong. You got six
No.
guys that you can rotate in, man. They all can they all have started in the league at linebacker. Anzo, Jack Campbell, Derek Barnes, Grant Stewart, Zach Cunningham, and Trevor Nowalski. Now, you got 5 cornerbacks: Arnold, Reed, Robertson, Maddox, who can play both corner and safety, and Khalil Dorsey. All right, so let's finish it up with the rest of the room. Safeties, you only got 3. You got Herbie, Branch, and Rock Ya-Shin. So, but like we said, you can slide Avonte Maddox over his name over here as well. So you got the positional flexibility to move Avonte Maddox to the safety position. And of course, our special team battery with Fox, Bates, and Hogan Hatton. So that is the rest of the 50-man roster because it's only 50. It's only 50 guys right now. So for me, the biggest shock has to be you only keep 3 defensive ends. And the shocking thing for me, the biggest shock is that you brought all these young guys in, you re-signed some guys, defensive ends this offseason, and you didn't keep one on the roster. Not a one. None of the guys you brought in. Not Cooper. Not Lynn. Not we'll talk about the young fellow, the Scorpion King, when we talk about injuries. Not him. Not none of them. You didn't.
Not Uku, not
Goudet, none of them cats. So I'm like, damn, they got to have something cooking with the 3 roster spots open. And they only kept 3 safeties on the active roster. I understand that you got some players that got some flexibility, as Coach Jones like to say, they have that positional flexibility. But you got those couple of guys that are designated as defensive backs, not just cornerbacks. Now, here's the speculation. There has been some speculations by some Lions beat writers, and then there's some national media talking about that the Lions, may bring back Zadarius Smith, or Zadarius Smith has been contacted by a few different contenders to be on their roster. We all know where Zadarius wants to be. He want to be hugged up with his honey dip cash dog in the D. I'm a little old school. Y'all know. Yeah, but I know about that thing
Curt,
right there. Yeah. So, I think that biggest surprise to me was like 3. You got 3. There's no way in hell that the Lions don't make a move to bring in a defensive end because you only got 3. You don't go into week 1 with 3 defensive ends. You just don't do it. So, right. LL, what is your big surprise on defense, man?
On defense, I got 2, and I'll use 1 because we got other people. So I'm gonna stick with my man, and that's Hassanin. I think that they'll bring him back, but I guess the initial cut is the shock. If they don't bring him back at all, it'll be a gigantic shock. But that's what it is. I've heard different scenarios of what they thought that they might do. Some people thought that they might bring him back to the return IR or whatever it is. I don't know if that's the proper term, but they'll miss, about 4 games. They could be out about 4 games or whatever it is, and help him out however long after that. But I didn't think that they would release him, and yeah, I was wrong, maybe.
All right, what you got, Coach Jones?
Them only keeping 3 safeties. We all know about the positional flexibility, of the DBs. There's a couple guys who are labeled DB, and usually when they're labeled that is because you can play corner or safety. But just the mere fact that there are only 3 safeties, officially that's kind of, that means usually they're going to try and pick somebody up, man, or maybe bring somebody back. It's getting hard to make this Lions roster. You know what I'm saying? That means we have arrived. Shit, that's what that means. Hey, tough. It's tough, man. So, peace, brothers. But you got to go. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to win a Super Bowl over here, Curt. We ain't got time to be. Oh, you just keep him on the team.
No projects. No time for no projects, man. No project players on the roster, man. The project players are gone. Project Martin's gone. Hendon Hooker is gone. Those guys who were, project type players. Yep. But here's the deal with that. People talk about, well, he missed on Hendon Hooker and he missed on Broderick Martin. But you look who he drafted in the same draft class with those guys. Jahmyr Gibbs, Jack Campbell, Sam Laporta, and Brian Branch. Yeah, that's a draft. And most teams would love that draft just by itself.
Right.
With those 4 players. So, hey.
You know what I don't like now that I'm looking at at people's stats in their roster? I don't like the fact that they got Pat O'Connor at 6'4", 300 pounds. Y'all did that just to be funny. You know that boy 290. You know you're about 287.
I am not messing with you, Coach.
6'4", 300 pounds all of a sudden. Man, you 287, man. Stop playing, man. You don't got that girl like that.
Yeah, all right. So let's look who's on the injury list, man, because we got to talk about this. I didn't use none of my banners today, but we're going to use this one. All right, so let's look at what happened with the injuries. The Lions placed Ezekiel Turner on reserve, injured, which means his season's over. He's not on the one designated for return. Wave defensive end Ahmad Hassanin with the injury settlement. Now, once his injury is over, they can't re-sign him. I think the same thing happened with what's the young fella's name? He's out in Dallas right now. James Houston. Kind of something saying like, remember they released, I think they released him with an injury settlement and they brought him back later on. They placed Miles Frazier, Aleem McNeil, and Malcolm Rodriguez on the reserve pup list, and defensive end Josh Pascal, it got put on the reserve NFI list. Now, here's the deal with the new rules, right? So Alan and I was kind of talking about this, and why some of these cuts were kind of head scratchers is that while I think that the Lions have something cooking, is that with the new rules, the Lions have 8 slots for injured reserve designated for return. And those players have to be on the active roster at cut down, right? But the guys that they put on the pup list and the NFI list, those guys now, they don't have to be on the active roster to go straight onto the injury list. So and those guys don't count toward the injury to return list. So they don't count at the reserve injury then for return, those 8 slots. They still got all 8 slots available for those guys because being on pup list and being on NFI, they don't follow those same rules. When they come off now. Like used to be, you had to be on the active roster and then they put you back on those other lists. They changed the rule where you don't have to worry about it. So you can just keep those guys on. They're injured. So you don't have to worry about rushing to, to all this roster gymnastics. And I had a lot of Lions beat writers scratching their head yesterday. Me too. I was looking at it like, well, maybe it's roster gymnastics because I put that especially when they talk about Dan Skipper, but not the case. It's just he got released, and it is what it is. But it has to be something in the works for the Lions that only have 50 people on the roster, and it's going to be something that's going to come out probably when the show airs, and we're going to be behind a little power curve, but we record at 5:15 in the morning, so it kind of is what it is. We'll be back shortly, to bring y'all the updated news when we get it. But 50 out of 53, I think most of the guys who made it, we thought was going to make it. Maybe a few guys that I think it's really 2 guys that I didn't think I was going to make it. I didn't have DeMarco Jones making it. I didn't have Dominic Lovett making it. Everybody else I kind of had on the roster. Well, no, one more. Chris Smith.
Yeah. Now I'm mad about that because he was getting beat up just like Broderick Martin was. There was no day. All we were seeing was 300+ pound dudes moving backwards. I feel like, man, if you gonna get moved backwards, at least be your draft pick. You know what I'm saying? Like, not the dude that you brought in.
To be honest with you, I thought the Lions was just done with Broderick Martin. I just think that you look at what Dan Campbell said and what he said about. I think the same thing he said about Hendon Hooker was the same thing he said about Broderick Martin. It's kind of changed time for a change of scenery. It's kind of just like, hey, it's time for us to move on for these guys, and it ain't working out. And like I said, I don't have any personal. I never had a personal vendetta against Broderick Martin. I never. I just didn't think he wasn't working out. I just think he wasn't working out. I'm not an LL guy who a guy's performing top 10 in the quarterback stats, top 10 in the league, and still hate on him. I'm not doing that. He is the guy who can't get on the field because he sucks. And I'm thinking I'm done with him.
Well, that's good. I just did that because you said. I just say this: you sing a different tune in that Lions Talk Live chat. I was in there yesterday. He was in there celebrating. Celebrating.
Oh no!
Or whatever day.
I was celebrating. I was breakdancing when I saw him. That's not personal. It was time for his ass to go because I was just tired of seeing him.
You hear that, Mike? You hear that, Mike?
It was.
It ain't personal.
It ain't personal. I don't, because you know what? I don't know Broderick. I don't know Broderick Martin personally, so I can't say.
So sad that Broderick Martin got cut.
I'm not sad at all. My thing is, I'm happy because that opens a roster spot for somebody who can actually contribute to the team.
Right. I mean that I will say. I do expect them to pick up. Either a safety or another D lineman. They just too light in the ass on the D line, man. Like they got all them tweeners. You know what I'm saying? Which is good for positional flexibility, but when they get down to the trenches, when they get down to 4th and short or 3rd and short, you only got DJ Reader, Tyleek Williams, and Roy Lopez, and that's it. And if one of them get hurt or anything like that, then it's like you know what I'm saying? And stop with that O'Connor being 300 pounds, man. He's not 300 pounds. He is 287. Okay,
You cracked me up with that one, Coach.
Stop lying to me, man. That man 287. Trying to say 300
Don't be kid on my leg and tell me it's raining.
I know 300.
Like the video, share the video, and comment on the video. All these things help us get this content out to more Detroit Lions fans just like yourself. Hey, well, if there's some breaking news or something like that, you know what I'm saying, we might hop on here the next day or so, you know what I'm saying, we'll talk about it offline and see, if it's a big enough news for us to hop on and do a quick show for y'all, man. But the 50-man roster is out, man, and we want to give you our reactions of what we thought. And I think it's probably a lot of we shared a lot of sentiment with a lot of you guys, what the surprises were. But it is what it is, man. You gotta wait for the move, and I think probably around 9:00, right? Either right during this show airs or right after it airs is gonna be, some kind of transaction that the Lions either traded for somebody or signed somebody off the street. So, with all that being said, make sure you follow the crew on your favorite social media platforms, man. Coach Jones does a great job over there on Wolfline Sports Talk, and he had a great little, short yesterday. It was kind of quick, but it did some good numbers. A lot of y'all looked at it. So go check it out, man. I post content from this platform, all of my social media. And of course, man, it's hump day, baby, which means it's Thursday Eve over there on LL's Instagram page, man. So fellas, man, get your popcorn ready because Thursdays is on deck, man. All right, time for parting shots for today's show, man. First up is Coach Jones, man. What you got for the people today?
I'm about to get the popping and a locking. No, I'm just playing. You know what, man? I am a little surprised. Just a few surprises, none really. I'm surprised at Dan Skipper. I'm surprised at Jackson Meeks. Um, so, but other than that, the Lions roster is what I thought it was going to be. Um, I'm just waiting to see what other little maneuvers they gonna make, man. 'Cause the Lions, man, the staff is so smart, man. Brad Holmes is always ahead of the game. He already got the moves in head. It's not like they gonna be like, oh, we should do this. No, they know what they gonna do. You know what I'm saying? So they just leave it up to us for speculation. So we're gonna speculate. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna see what they do, man. They should have those moves within the next few hours. So we'll see what goes down. But stay tuned, man. I might pop up with a little short or something. I might be out at the food stand, like you know what I'm saying? I might be, have my have a little something cooking up, man, real quick, and like, oh yeah, it just depends, man. Stay tuned.
Yeah, definitely. What someone said yesterday, and this is how they look at Brad Holmes. They said Brad Holmes says if you're on time, you're behind, and that's how it goes with the NFL with the roster moves and what he does as a GM. So if you're right on time with the GM, you're behind because everyone else is moving forward. All right, what you got, LL, on this hump day?
That reminds me of an old saying I heard from old band directors and coaches and everything like that. To be early is to be on time. To be on time is to be late. To be late is to be left. And to be left is to be sucking bus fumes, as they used to say. But I got a few, just surprises on this cut down day. I talked about a few. But, Skipper, Ahmed, Love It making it. Casey Masterpiece not making it. And we only got 50 people on this roster. Those are all shocks to me. But I think this is just a big sign of change, maybe, especially if we don't see some of these guys come back. We got new OC, you got new DC, or just new voices and or decision makers. So I think that's a sign of that as well. Like some of these guys that we've been seeing, maybe they was tied to Ben Johnson or maybe they was tied to AG. And since they ain't here no more, that's, maybe Shep been waiting this whole time. Like, I can't wait for AG to leave to cut some of you people. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm a little confused. It seems like the whole fan base is confused, even the educated ones. We can't necessarily figure out some of these roster moves. Like, what's the purpose? Are we cutting them to bring them back? Are we cutting them to, so we don't got to pay somebody? I don't know, but we shall see. I suppose. Happy Wednesday.
Yeah, definitely. And I said this the other day. The initial 53 man roster or the initial roster in the NFL roster is only good for about 24 hours. I mean, that's it, because there's going to be some moves it's going to be made. It's going to be trades. Look at some guys who thought they were going to be cut by teams yesterday and end up being traded. You know what I'm saying? It's happened all over the league yesterday. So, but with that being said, man, hey, congratulations to the guys who made it and to the guys who didn't. Hey, man. Good luck to you. You know what I'm saying? A couple of y'all, man, y'all can holler at me. A couple of y'all, if you see me in the street, don't say nothing.
Broderick, say what's up to Curt when you see him, man.
Man, you better keep quiet to yourself, young man.
Pick Curt up.
Yeah, young fella. All right, man. Hey, thank you guys. Thank you guys for checking us out right here on the Boss Up Ball Out podcast, your home for organic debate about Detroit Lions news and rumors. As always, man, if you're having a good day, make sure you spread that joy. If you're not having a good day, don't sit on else's joy. And whatever you're doing in life, you got to boss up, ball out, and be the best version of you that you can be. For my fellas, LL Cool Torrance and the Wolverine Lion Coach Mike Jones, this is Curt Steele, and we will holla at you real soon.